Welcome. Let us discuss about the tools of management. Tools of management refer to materials which have been developed by the managers in the past and used as an aid to effective management. These vary with level of management and therefore each level use different aids. Tools of management can be distinctly classified into two categories, namely tangible tools and intangible tools. Tangible tools: organizational chart, job description, job specification, work schedule, job analysis, production service and staff analysis statements, budget and benchmarking. Intangible tools: personality, trust, experience, social and interactive skills, self-confidence, knowledge and leadership quality. Tangible tools. Tangible tools are those aids to management that have been developed by experience of managers in different work situations and organizations and represent a collection of these tools that resulted in successful decisions in the past. Organizational chart. The basic tool for any establishment is the organization chart, which shows the structure of an organization in terms of how the various units or departments are linked together. The organization structure is the outcome of putting people and jobs together and therefore represents the entire team involved in the running of the establishment at both operational and management levels. The chart indicates activity-authority relationships which exist in the establishment. An organization chart tells us about the subordinate-superior relationships and the lines of decision-making authority that exist in an establishment, in other words, who reports to whom. The two types of authority relationships that most exist in food services are line and line staff relationships. In the former, each individual is responsible to the person ranking above him on the organization chart. Thus, authority and responsibility are passed downward. In the latter, that in line and staff pattern, specialists are positioned at various levels to advise those along the line structure because the activities of establishment become too diversified for proper functioning and control. Organization structures can grow in two directions, vertically and horizontally. In vertical organization, the person above assigns the work to his immediate subordinates down the line. As the length of the structure increases, coordinating the activities of the establishment become difficult. So, the duties get divided separately for each unit. This results in horizontally spread structure. Job description. Job description refers to the definition of job in the perceived manner, indicating exactly what is to be done by the people who are occupying or would occupy a job position in an establishment. The job descriptions not only important aids to job performance at all levels of an organization, but they to draw up recruitment, set up salary levels commensurate with work involved, provide the guidelines for training and aid in controlling activities within the establishment. Next, job specification. A job specification is a statement indicating standards to be achieved for a particular job. It also covers duties expected to be performed, working conditions in which the job would be carried out, and the qualification required. A job specification is generally used as tool for selection of the right employee for a particular job. Work schedule. This represents an outline of the work to be done by an employee. When this is to be completed within a time schedule as well, and then it is referred as a time and activity plan. For proper scheduling, it is important to analyze tasks which are to be performed in a particular day. Analyzing task and scheduling work can therefore help to identify materials, equipment, time and skills required for doing particular jobs. Work and staff need to be scheduled properly for two main reasons. One is to have the right type of skills available when required. The another one is for maximum efficiency. The next tool is job analysis. The term clearly means analyzing jobs to know precisely what they involve. This helps to bring into focus any overlapping, neglected or problem areas which can then be remedied by conscious effort to increase efficiency. Job analysis is also sometimes referred as task analysis and is a way of looking at jobs and situations in which a number of variables are involved. Jobs may be analyzed by many methods such as charting out the steps for a performer and preparing travel patterns for a job. Task analysis also helps in scheduling work by examining it closely for process, materials, equipment and skills needed to complete a job. Job analysis is therefore a very good tool for increasing efficiency both in terms of speed as well as resource utilization and can be used at all levels of activity, more so at the operational level. Job analysis sheets help to assess the skills required for each task and formulate job descriptions which usually define duties, tasks and responsibilities of the performer. Production, service and staff analysis statements. Statements indicating the quantities or portions of food produced, served and left over each day act as tools for forecasting customer demand patterns over a particular period of time. The type of records are production records, sales chart, records of stocks and leftovers over a specified period, menu records and standard costing sheets. Another aid is a record of staff absenteeism. This can help to analyze which workers are constantly absenting themselves from work. Records of sickness and absenteeism also indicate productive hours lost, leading to increasing labor cost which establishments can least afford. Budget. A budget is a projected plan for the operation of a business. It is sometimes expressed in terms of money, but at other times may also be expressed in units or percentage. It is an important tool for managing an operation. It establishes targets for future productions, sales, staff numbers and purchases and so on. Budgets may also be referred as fixed or flexible with respect to the levels of sales assumed. In fixed budgets, the amount to be spent on certain item is fixed at the beginning of a budget period. In flexible ones, judgment of cost is made from previous year's experience in relation to the possible volume of sales. The last tangible tool is benchmarking. Benchmarking can be defined as a structural method of learning better processes or techniques from other similar establishments and implementing them in one's own system. Today, benchmarking has developed into the third most widely used management tool in the world. Intangible tools, those not having physical presence and cannot be touched. They are the qualities with which people are naturally endowed or to some extent acquired through training and conditioning. These tools being innate or reflected through a person's personality and charisma and therefore act in very subtle ways through leadership or interpersonal qualities and communication skill of people. The first intangible tool is personality. This is the sum total of a manager's physical stature, mental and emotional status, social habits, outlook or vision with respect to his total work and the environment. Trust. It is an important tool used effectively in situations when works along with authority and responsibility needs to be transferred to colleagues or subordinates in order to get work done efficiently and on time. Experience. There is no doubt that when any organization think of appointing new employee, experience counts, as evidenced through any qualification request seen in employment advertisements of various job positions. This is because experience, though not measurable in tangible terms, is a useful tool for making decisions for the future in organizations having similar work requirement. Although the number of working years can be tangibly stated, every individual organization, according to their management abilities and opportunities for decision making and problem solving. Social and interactive skills. People vary in the ways in which they interact with others at work depending on their inherent nature in terms of being extrovert or introvert. The extrovert being more easily able to approach people irrespective of their position in the hierarchy than the latter. Social skills may be used effectively as a tool by managers in the form of getting together informally with their superior through casual conversation. Many become acquainted with the problems of their staff or their talents, which can then be used to effect in the management. Self-confidence. It is the ability to express oneself without hesitation because one is sure about one's capabilities. This trait shows in a manager's personality, posture, voice, and conviction in what is said or done in different circumstances. This tool helps managers to avoid confusion, which only results if he himself is not sure about what he wants done. This is because instructions are clear and easy to interpret and follow even in the absence of manager. Knowledge. It is acquired generally by interest and interaction with one's environment through informal and formal training. When knowledge gained is applied to the solution of problems in the work environment through use of person's own judgment of the situation at hand, good management results. The more decisions made successfully or otherwise, the more experience is gained and the success rate is increased. Thus, knowledge is a very important tool of management because degrees alone do not impart decision-making abilities, and people with more book knowledge do not necessarily become good manager. Next, communication skills. A manager may be able to make good decision, but his work or ability to communicate them to others for implementation may be inadequate. Those with good interactive skills should therefore be delegated the responsibility to implement decisions. Communication skills are inherent to some extent but can also be acquired through training and development of individuals. This tool is vital for managerial success. Communication is therefore the most important tool of management when dealing with people. Yet it is the most difficult to achieve effectively because it involves much more than just sending and receiving messages. The last intangible tool is leadership quality. Leadership quality makes people look up to a manager for advice, feel motivated to work for him, and respect, loyalty, and love are generated in the work environment. Leadership represents the set of skills and characteristics which differentiate the people who makes an impact on other employees of an establishment. A leader who can mobilize the trust and support of staff achieves greater heights than his contemporaries in the competitive management environment. The self-confident leader produces simple plans, speaks plainly, proposes clear-cut targets and stimulates staff to achieve them speedily, thus building up a momentum to achieve. Thank you.